Hi there, Mr. Muhammed is here. Throughout this video, I'm going to cover some important questions, including some very important ideas and strategies to solve questions. This video is for my IGCSE students. This is the Oxford Complete Mathematics Extended. I hope you find it helpful. To solve this question, we start by adding the x's together. X plus 3x will be 4x, plus x will be 5x. So we have 5x here, 5x. This angle is a right angle. It's clear that is 90 degrees. So 5x plus 90. All of these angles together, they form up a circle, so it means the sum of them is 360. Now, if we want to solve this, if we want to find x, we need to have x alone on a side and numbers on the other side. Then we send this 90 to the other side, so the 90 becomes negative. 5x is equal to 360 minus 90. 360 minus 90 will be 270. 270, and on the side we have 5x. Then 5x is equal to 270. How can we get rid of this 5? We will divide both sides by 5. Divide 5. Divide 5. 5x divide 5. Since we have 5 up and down of the fraction, it will be cancelled. What's remaining here is only x equals 270 divided by 5. X is equal to 54. We got the value of x. This question 11, we have only a here. Then add all the a's together. You see that we have 5a here plus a, 6a, 5a plus a, 6a plus 3a. It will be 9a. And since all of these angles together, they form up a circle, so it means when you add them all together, you get 360. Now 9a is equal to 360. What about a alone? A alone is equal to 360 divided by 9. 360 divided by 9 is equal to 40. So a is equal to 40. A is 40, means this angle is 40. 3a, 3 times 40 is 120. 5a, 5 times 40 is 200. All of these angles together, they add up to 360. So correct. To find the value of x and y in question 15, it's clear that the sum of all angles inside a triangle is 180. So here we have 3x plus 4x, that gives 7x, plus 2x gives 9x. 9x is equal to 180. 9x is the sum of all of these angles, and surely it must be equal to 180. Now we have 9x is equal to 180. What about just x? Just x is equal to 180 divided by 9. 180 divided by 9 is equal to 20, so x is 20 degrees. Okay, x is 20, so 2x must be 40 degrees. 4x is 80 degrees. And 3x is 60 degrees. Now, to double check this answer, 60 plus 40 is 100 plus 80, it's 180. So we got the value of x right. Now, if we look at this angle 2x with angle y together, they form up a straight angle. And straight angle is 180 degrees. Then to get the value of y equals 180 minus 40, because these two parts together, this piece and this one together, they add up to 180 degrees, and this much is 40. What's remaining for the y is 180 minus 40, which is 140 degrees. Then y is 140 degrees. Question 16. We need to find the value of A, B, and C. Okay, the easiest point to start this question is this one. We have three A's together, they form up a circle. Three A's together, they form up a circle. It means 3A is equal to 360. 3A is equal to 360. Then to find the value of A, we will divide 360 by 3. 360 divided by 3 is equal to 120. So A is equal to 120. Now, we know this angle is 146, it's given, and this 146 with angle B, they add up to 180. Then easily we can find the value of B, which is equal to 180 minus 146. 180 minus 146 is equal to 34 degrees. Then B is equal to 34. To find the value of C, now we know two angles in this triangle. We know two angles. This angle is 34. This angle is 120. Now easily we can get this angle. Add this to 120 plus 34 is equal to 154. And 180 minus 154 is equal to 26. So angle C is equal to 180 minus 154. That gives 36. Angle C is equal to 36 degrees. Now we got the value of A, we got the value of B, we got the value of C. So done. This question 18, the question tells us that these three sides are all equal. This sign means this side is equal to this one in length, and it's equal to this one. This triangle is isosceles, and we know this side is opposite this angle, and this side is opposite this angle. It means this angle is equal to this one. This angle is 65. This one is also 65 degrees. Now to find this one, we add 65 plus 65 is equal to 130, and subtract 130 from 180. It gives 50. It means this angle is 50 degrees. Let's see how does this 50 help to find E, because all you have to do, find the value of E. Now this angle with 50 adds up to 180 because together they form up a straight angle. This much is 50. Definitely this side is 130 because 130 plus 50 is equal to 180. This is 130. And this triangle is isosceles because this side is equal to this one. Then it means this angle, which is opposite this side, is equal to this angle, which is opposite this side, and they both equal. 130, if we subtract it from 180, what's remaining is 50. Then it means angle E and this angle together, they add up to 50. It means each one of them is 25. Now you see that E is equal to 25. This question, how can we find out the value of A and the value of B? B is easy because it's in this triangle and two angles are given. 60 plus 44 is equal to 104. and 180 minus 104 will be equal to 76. So B is equal to 76. Now let's see how does this angle help to find A. We know this angle is 130. It means this side definitely is equal to 50 degrees. And this side is 60. It means this angle is 120 because 60 plus 120 is equal to 180. 50 plus 130 is equal to 180. Then now we know two angles in this tiny triangle that contains A. So 50 plus 120 is equal to 170. What's remaining from 180 is just 10. So A is equal to 10. To find the value of angle X and angle Y, as you see angle X, there are a lot of X. They are all equal and they are all exterior because it's outside of the shape. This shape has 6 sides. It's a regular hexagon. Then always to find exterior angle, we're gonna divide 360 by number of sides. Here we have 6 sides. 360 divided by 6 is equal to 60 degrees. So it means X is equal to 60 degrees. We got the exterior. And to get interior angles, we can always say 180 minus exterior, it gives you interior. 180 minus 60 is equal to 120. So Y, which is an interior angle of this regular hexagon, is 120 degrees. Question 4, find A. Here we have 4 A's in this irregular pentagon, but we have rules. Let's use them. We know the sum of all angles inside a pentagon must be number of sides, which is 5, minus 2 times 180. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3 times 180 is 540. Now the sum of all interior angles for any pentagon is 540. In this pentagon, we know this angle is 100. Okay, if we subtract 100 from the 540, what's remaining is 440. And this 440 is for all of these A's together. How many A's are there? 4A. 4A is equal to 440. What about A? A is 440 divided by 4. That gives 110. So 110 is the value of A. Remember, this rule always can give you the sum of all interior angles. Question 1. This angle is 64. This angle B must be also 64 because these two angles, angle B and the 64, are correspond. This angle is 64 and this angle with angle A, they complete 180 because together they form a straight angle. So angle A is equal to 180 minus 64. 180 minus 64 is equal to 116. So A is 116 degrees. B is 64 degrees. C is also 64. The reason is because B and C are vertically opposite angles. And the relation between this 64 and A is called allied angles or complementary angles. These are the angles that together they complete 180 degrees. Question 2, again here one angle is 64. We can say that A is also 64 because they are alternate. These two lines are parallel and this angle 64 and angle A, they are on the same transversal. One is on the right side, one is on the left side, means they are alternate and they are always equal. Angle B is not alternate with this 64 because 64 and angle B, they are not on the same transversal. B is on this line, 64 is on this line. But we can see that on this transversal, angle B and this 40, they are correspond. So we can say that B is equal to 40 degrees because it's correspond to this angle, which is 40 degrees. This angle is 112. So the complementary of this angle is 180 minus 112 minus 112. So this angle is 68. And this 68 is correspond to x, so it means x is also 68. We can do it like this angle is 112. Of course, this angle is correspond with this one. This one is also 112. Then 180 minus 112, what's remaining for x is 68 degrees. There are always other ways to solve one question, but all the different ways must give the exact same answers. Question 7 and 8, they look a little bit weird comparing to the ones before. So let's rock them. Here we have this couple of lines that are parallel. Okay, so this transversal is between B and 100. 100 and B, they are alternate, so B is equal to 100 degrees. Done. Now this angle 62, this 62, it says alternate to angle C, or we can say here is a parallelogram, and in parallelogram opposite angles are equal. This is the parallelogram. This angle is 62, C is also 62. To find angle A, we cannot say that 100 is correspond to A because A and 100 are not on the same transversal, or this line is not parallel to this one. So A cannot be 100. But there's another relation. Angles in parallelogram, the opposite angles are equal, and the adjacent angles, the angles that are next to each other, they add up to 180. This side is 62. 180 minus 62 is equal to 118. So A is 118 degrees. Question 8. Firstly, we have these two lines are parallel. Here is a transversal between this line and this line. Angle D is alternate to angle C. Angle D is alternate to angle C, and they are equal, but since we don't know any of them, we cannot find it, but we are sure that they are equal. This angle 34 is on this transversal, and angle A is on the same transversal. This angle 34 is with this line, which is parallel to this one that formed A. So this is enough to say that A is 34. Okay, we got A. Now let's find out B. If we look at this part of this diagram, we see a parallelogram. What is special about parallelograms? Opposite angles means this angle is opposite this one in this parallelogram. How we know it's parallelogram? The opposite sides are parallel. This side is parallel to this one. This side is parallel to this one. Now opposite angles are equal, so B is 76. Now it's time to find D or C. If we find any of them, it means we found the other one as well. To find D or C, we use properties of triangle. Now look at this triangle, triangle ABD. In this triangle, we know two angles. An angle is 34. Another angle in the same triangle is 76. If we add them, we will get 110. Then 180 minus 110, 70. So D is equal to 70 degrees. D and C are alternate. C is also 70 degrees. So we got the value of A, we got the value of B, C, and done. Pythagoras theorem is always like the longest side squared. In this triangle, the longest side is not given, so it's x. X squared is equal to the other two sides, the sum of the other two sides squared. 8 squared plus 6 squared. Now 8 squared is 64 plus 6 squared is 36. 64 plus 36 is equal to 100. So x squared is equal to 100. X is the square root of 100, so x is 10. Question 2, this time the longest side is given, but one of the shorter sides is missing. That's how we work out. Whenever you see one of the shorter sides is missing, that's how we do. 9 is the longest side, so 9 squared is equal to the sum of the other two sides squared, 8 squared plus x squared. Now 9 squared is 81 plus 8 squared is 64 plus x squared. Now to have x alone on a side, we can send this 64 to the side, it will be negative. 81 minus 64 is equal to 17. 17 is equal to x squared. So to get rid of this square or this power 2, we're going to take square root. So x is the square root of 17. It's okay if you leave your answer like this under square root. It's also fine if you simplify it to a decimal. That is nearly 4.123. And remember, Pythagoras works when you have a right angle in the triangle. So Pythagoras theorem works only on right angle triangles. Now this question 7, to do this angle is a right angle, so surely we can use Pythagoras. So for this triangle, firstly we work on this triangle, the bigger one, because one side is missing. We need to find this side. Then we will be allowed to find x. But to find this missing side, we use this 8 and this side. The length of the side from here all the way to there is 6, because this part is 2, this part is 4, and the longest side is 8. We're going to use Pythagoras like this. Let's name this side P. Pythagoras for this triangle works like this. 8 squared is equal to P squared plus 6 squared. 8 squared is 64. This equals to P squared plus 36. Then this 36, if we send it to the side, because whenever you want to find a missing letter, to find the solution of a linear equation like this, you need to keep the letter on a side and numbers on the other side. Then 64 minus 36 is 28. Then 28 is equal to P squared. To get rid of this square, this power 2, we will take the square root. So P without power 2 is equal to the square root of 28. It's okay if you leave it like this. Square root of 28. Done. You don't need to simplify it. Now we know this length, which is the square root of 28. In this triangle, in the smaller one, we know the length of two sides. We can find x. Then x here, x square, because it's a right angle triangle, again we can use Pythagoras. X square equals the square root of 28 square plus 4 square. The square root of 28 square and square root and power 2, they always cancel each other. So what's remaining here is only 28 plus 4 square is equal to 16. 28 plus 16 is equal to 44. It's equal to 44. It means x squared is equal to 44. X alone is the square root of 44. Let's do question 1. This angle F is equal to this angle C. This 4, this side 4 is corresponds to this side 2. So we can say 2, the side of the smaller shape, smaller triangle, 2 times k is equal to 4, or you can say 4 is equal to k2. K is the scale between these two triangles. So 2 times which number equals 4? From this we can get that k is equal to 2. Now this side is 6, then E must be, whenever we find the length of the smaller triangle, we divide by k, and whenever we know a side on the smaller triangle, we multiply it by k to get the side of the bigger triangle. Then 6 divided by 2, E is 3. 5 divided by 2, A is 2.5. Because 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. If we go back, when we go from the smaller triangle to the bigger triangle, we multiply by the k. When we go from the bigger triangle to the smaller triangle, we divide by k. And k is, for this question, k is 2. For this question, k will be something else. If we go back, we'll get the same results. Question 2, we know this angle is the same as this one, and this angle is the same as this one. Which side is between them? 15 is between them. Here, y is between them. This side is x, here this side is 9, this side is 8, this side is 12. So the 8 and the 12 are the sides that we are going to use them to find k. K is the scale between these two triangles. So 12 is equal to k times 8. So think, which number times 8 is equal to k? To get this, we are going to divide both sides by 8. We will get that k is equal to 1.5. So this triangle is 1.5 times bigger than this one. Now if we want to get the missing sides, when we go from the bigger triangle to the smaller triangle, we divide by k. 15 divided by 1.5 is equal to 10, so y equals 10. 9 divided by 1.5 is equal to 6, so this side x is equal to 6. And 12 divided by 1.5 is 8, so alright, same idea here. It's also fine if you have your two triangles inside one another. Here, this side is correspond to this one, this side is 6, this side is 4, so the relation between them could be found like 6 is equal to k times 4. Since the triangles are inside one another, it's not necessary to mention the angles, which angles are equal, because definitely these two angles are equal. This angle is common, and these two angles are equal. 6 is equal to k times 4, so 6 divided by 4 gives 1.5. K is 1.5. The scale between this smaller triangle and the bigger triangle is 1.5. Then this side is 3. This is a side of the smaller triangle. To get the side of the larger triangle, which is starting from here all the way to there, this side, we are going to multiply the 3 by the k, which is 1.5. 3 times 1.5 is equal to 4.5. So this side of the bigger triangle is 4.5. Now, the whole side is 4.5. This much is 3. What's remaining for the w? The w is equal to 1.5, because 1.5 with 3 together complete 4.5. Here, this much is 2. And this side, x, is the side of the smaller triangle. To find this, the whole side starting from A all the way to D is x plus 2. And the side of the smaller triangle is just x. So this one, be careful with this one. The whole side is x plus 2. It must be the same as the scale times the side of the smaller triangle. Okay, 1.5, which is the scale, which is the k, times x is equal to x plus 2. To solve this, we can say minus x both sides. What's remaining here? 2 is equal to 0.5x. 2 is 0.5x, so 4 is equal to x. X is equal to 4. X is equal to 4. 4 times 1.5 is equal to 6, which is correct.